should have gotten death for the life they took. 20 years will never be enough for taking down away.
Saying to pull the trigger that killed your son, masturbates to memory. Love you.
Take your seat and welcome to the Cayuga County Common Pleas Court in Chardon, Ohio. This is 18-year-old TJ Lane, a former student of Chardon High School, Ohio. TJ Lane is the face behind the Chardon High School shooting, which took place on the 27th of February, 2012. Lane took a .22 caliber pistol and a knife and began to spray bullets at a group of students in the cafeteria. The shooting spree left 3 students, Par Murder, Russell King Jr., and Demetrius Hewlin, dead, with Nick Walchuk, Nate Mueller, and Joy Rickers injured. Lane initially pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. However, the prosecutors decided to try him as an adult as he clocked 18. On February 26, 2013, just a day before the 1-year mark of the shooting, Lane pleaded guilty to all the charges he had been indicted.
I'm totally disgusted by that, but it has been our position all along that he knew what he was doing. He planned this out, and what he did today is consistent with what we thought of him all along.
During his sentencing on the 19th of March 2013, Lane showed no remorse to the families of his victims. He walked into the courtroom smiling, smirking at his victims' parents, but this was just the beginning. He unbuttoned his blue shirt and revealed a white shirt with the word "killer" on it, the same chilling one-word message he wore when he committed the crime. The courtroom was filled with anger and pain as the relatives of the victims unleashed their anger and pain upon him. According to Mrs. Walchuk,
Nick is a very kind and loving. Why would you want to hurt him? You don't know kind. You're evil. I will have to eventually forgive you. Otherwise, you will haunt me. You will never, ever be in my thoughts after this. Never. My family will move on, not you. You have ruined your life, not to mention Adam's. He even gave you a ride. Nick even gave you a ride from school. He was thinking about inviting you back to that table because he felt sorry for you. I feel sorry for you. I have watched my son suffer daily, every hour, every minute. But we will always remember that someone tried to kill 5 people, and all they did was want to go to school.
But TJ never cared about what the victims' families spoke to him. He even surprised everyone when he gave the middle finger. After being sentenced, Lane raised his hands to speak.
Saying to pull the trigger that killed your son, masturbates to memory. Love you.
TJ Lane was sentenced to 3 life imprisonments, each for a life he took and without parole. You can now find him at the Warren Correctional Institution, a maximum security prison in Lebanon.
And I got a quote from the court reporter. I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me, end quote.
Now, off to New York State Supreme Court in Erie County, where 17-year-old Dylan Shumaker is facing the harsh realities of his action after ending the life of his girlfriend's 26-month-old baby while she worked her shift at a restaurant.
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin. I loved him a lot.
Dylan, in March 2013, gruesomely murdered Austin Smith, a 23-month-old baby he was babysitting. This was just 3 days before Austin's 2nd birthday. During his trial, Shumaker admitted to getting angry with the child. He said he slapped, spanked, and finally he slammed the child on the floor and punched him multiple times in the head. He was convicted of second-degree murder and appeared before State Supreme Court Justice M. William Bowler for sentencing. As soon as he walked into the courtroom, Shumaker broke down in tears and started telling everyone how sorry he was.
I didn't mean to kill Austin. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
However, the apology and tears weren't enough to console the little boy's family who wanted justice. Here's what a representative of the family had to say.
Because this did not have to happen. He had numerous opportunities to get help, to ask for help. He chose not to. We just ask that you take into consideration our family's feelings and what we've lost and what can never be replaced. We'll never get our Austin back.
Shumaker and his attorney fought for the minimum sentence, which was 15 years behind bars, and claimed the incident could be the result of Dylan's inexperience in babysitting. But the judge wasn't buying that.
Austin Smith was completely defenseless. That's a given. But there were other dynamics at work there, including my client's inability to either control his anger or frustration and his inexperience in babysitting.
Based on his short life now, what is to say he won't do this again?
Well, we don't know that.
The record will show that you admitted that on July 23, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me," end quote.
Dylan Shumaker was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment and is currently serving his sentence in Clinton Correctional Facility.
This afternoon, a jury convicted Dylan Shumaker of the highest charge possible in this case. He beat Austin Smith to death because the boy wouldn't stop crying.
Dylan will be eligible for parole in 2031.
And when you say use force if needed, was there a discussion about what type of force you might use?
An attack, I guess to kill.
Our next stop is the Sheboygan County Circuit Court, where a 14-year-old is looking at serious time after doing this to his grandmother.
We're gonna try to scare her to get money and then use force if needed.
Okay.
A 78-year-old Sheboygan Falls woman, Olson, had been murdered, and the perpetrator behind the murder was the last person you'd expect. Olson was murdered by her great-grandchild, Antonio Barbeau, who broke into her house, robbed her, and used a hatchet to end her life. However, Barbeau didn't carry out the meeting alone. He had an accomplice. Meet Nathan Papp, Barbeau's friend and accomplice, who also helped in killing his friend's great-grandmother. While Barbeau held a helmet, Papp, on the other hand, used a hammer to carry out the act. According to the medical examiner who testified in court, Olson suffered more than 18 blows to the head. Barbeau testified that he and another person attacked Olson and hit her several times. He mentioned that he initially planned to hide the body in a car trunk, but for some reason, they couldn't do it. Instead, they tried to conceal the body by wrapping it in a blanket in the garage. After Olson's death, the boys robbed the house, took some money, and used it to buy pizza.
I know I don't show my emotions much, and I myself am not sure why. But that doesn't mean I don't.
Barbeau and Papp were found guilty of first-degree intentional murder and received life sentences in prison. Papp might have a chance for parole when he turns 45, but Barbeau may have to wait until he's 45 before becoming eligible for parole. During the court proceedings, Barbeau became very emotional.
But that doesn't mean I don't.
I took away someone's mother, their grandma, sister, friend, when I had no right to do so.
Couldn't finish reading his apology, so his lawyer had to step in to complete it for him. On the other hand, Papp apologized for what he did and expressed regret for the events of that day.
He locks me in place and starts pushing me and hitting me around.
I ask for forgiveness as I get sentenced today, and I hope it brings you a little peace.
Next, we go to the Regional Justice Center in Las Vegas. where two lovebirds are facing the judge for a murder they committed.
I don't know what to say. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After murdering. Day 3 after murdering somebody. Wow! Don't put that on the camera. It was worth it.
This is Aaron Guerrero and Sierra Halseth, and this video was taken 3 days after the duo connived to kill Mr. Daniel Halseth, Sierra's father. Sierra was 16 at the time, while Aaron was 18. The two lovebirds stabbed Halseth's body up to 70 times. They then set his body on fire and even tried to burn down his house. Afterward, they took his debit card and fled in a car to Salt Lake City, Utah. Halseth's mutilated body was found in his garage in Las Vegas in April of 2021. The young couple was arrested a few days later in Salt Lake City, Utah after an investigation. Before these terrible events, the couple had dated for about 2 years, starting in 2020, and had plans to run away together to Los Angeles. However, their parents intervened and prevented them from seeing each other. This didn't go well with the teenage couple.
The sentence that was agreed upon by the parties. Ms. Halseth, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, you're going to be adjudicated guilty on count 1, conspiracy to commit murder. Count 2, first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon. Count 3, first-degree arson. Count 4, fraudulent use of a credit or a debit card. Count 5, fraudulent use of a credit or a debit card. Count 6, fraudulent use of a credit or a debit card. Count 7, fraudulent use of a credit or a debit card. Count 8, conspiracy to commit robbery. And count 9, robbery with the use of a deadly weapon.
Guerrero and Halseth pleaded guilty to 9 counts, including murder, arson, and robbery. You do the crime, you do the time, right? Since Aaron was already an adult at the time of the murder, the partners in crime agreed to a plea deal. That way, he would be able to avoid the death penalty. District Judge Tiara Jones sentenced the lovers to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 22 years. They were also ordered to pay $5,000 as restitution to the victim's family. Aaron couldn't resist shedding tears as he heard the sentence, but Halseth remained unmoved and seemed bored of the whole trial process. What do you think about these sentences? Are they heavy? Too heavy? Or do you think any kid capable of committing such a crime should be capable of doing the time? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated when we release new content. We'll see you in the next one.